Well, it seems like a lot of cruisers are just very confused as to what they can and cannot bring on a cruise. Well, one popular cruise line clarifies 5 things that you can and cannot bring on a cruise so that you don't end up bringing something that is going to be banned. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. Now, one cruise line, actually 2 cruise lines, have clarified what you can and cannot bring on a cruise. Some of it is going to surprise you, and I am of course going to be talking about the non-surge power strips, the USB multi-plug adapters, and more. Now, before I get started, I did want to mention 2 things. Firstly, I am on a cruise right now. We are on board MSC Seascape, and right behind me you can see, this is Nassau, by the way, and that is the Royal Beach Club at Paradise Island. I've been watching the construction for the last couple of hours, so it's definitely going to be something nice for people to have in the future when they do come to Nassau. So now you can tell I'm really on a cruise. They're actually looking for some passengers that seem like they have not come back to the ship and we're about to sail away. Gosh, I hope they really do come back on time. And secondly, if you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give this video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let's get started. Number 1, protein shakes. Now, this is probably something that you would not think about. However, if you had bariatric surgery, it might be something you think about. Now, John Heald, Carnival ambassador, clarified the situation. For people who do need to bring protein shakes on board, you can bring cartons, you can bring the powdered form, but you cannot bring the bottles. Now, there are some circumstances though where the bottles are allowed, and that is when you get a medical exemption. Now, I am going to leave that information right here on the screen, but the reason I'm actually bringing this up is not only for people who have had bariatric surgery, but in general, if there is a medical need, whether it's a dietary restriction or another medical need, like you have a CPAP, what you want to do is you always want to just check with a cruise line and make sure that you are following their rules. Oftentimes, when it is something medical, they can do a lot to assist. Like in this case, they can actually provide exemptions or instructions otherwise as to what you can do. Now, I actually get a lot of questions about CPAPs, but there are of course other things that you might want to bring on board that have to do with medical needs. And what you have is, on every cruise line website, you're going to find an email address for either special needs or special access. So I'm going to leave the one for Carnival up here on the screen, but otherwise you can talk to your travel agent or just look on the cruise line website to find that, and make sure that you do get in touch with them. If you're not sure where that is, you can always call customer service from the cruise line. Number 2, cleaning products. So according to Carnival ambassador John Heald, you can bring cleaning products, and I think actually there are some people who bring cleaning products on other cruise lines, so this is not just about Carnival. And when I mention cleaning products, I'm talking about like Lysol wipes, things like that. And of course, you do really want to be careful. There's a prohibited items list on every cruise line, and typically chemicals, flammable liquids, those are items that you cannot bring. But if it's basic Lysol wipes, because you do like to wipe down your cabin when you get in, or maybe if you go to the public restroom, you feel more comfortable if you wipe things down, you can definitely bring this. But something that you might be surprised that somebody even asked about, well, that is a Roomba. Now, I have to say, I have a Roomba at home. Since we renovated our house, we bought a Roomba. Oh my goodness, do I ever love that robot vacuum cleaner. It even now washes our floor. We have different settings. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, but I love that Roomba. But would you ever think of bringing that on a cruise? Well, somebody asked John Heald, can I bring my Roomba on a cruise? Never in a million years would I bring my Roomba on a cruise, but apparently you actually can. This surprised me a little bit, but John Heald says you can bring a Roomba on a cruise. Now, there is, again, on the prohibited items list, you'll have an entire list of appliances that are not allowed on cruises, but somehow if you bring your charger for your Roomba, you can actually bring it, but Personally, I advise against it. Please let me know your own thoughts down in the comments below. Homemade food to give crew members. Now this can surprise a lot of people, but you cannot bring any type of homemade food, even cookies. You cannot bring this to give to crew members. Now, John Heald did clarify this when a commenter and cruiser had said that the crew member refused to take her cookies. Now, this is not only the rule on Carnival, it's actually the rule on pretty much every other cruise line. I've looked through the prohibited items list, but John Heald did clarify this for a very upset cruiser who said that the crew member who wouldn't take her homemade cookies really insulted her, and for that she was going to remove the gratuities. Now, I don't think anybody should do this, but remember, you can actually bring cookies or other items on board as a gift for crew members. In addition to tips, by the way, I wouldn't remove them and give a baked good in lieu of cookies, but if you do bring something to eat, then you do want to make sure that it's pre-packaged and sealed. Now, what about non-surge protected power bars? You might be wondering. After all, Royal Caribbean did ban these, I guess about a week ago, and it's created, my goodness, a lot of confusion, a lot of buzz. I do have more information on that even for Royal Caribbean. But in terms of Carnival, Carnival did clarify. So according to news reports, John Heald did clarify that Carnival has no intention of banning power strips that are non-surge protected. And that includes the non-surge protected power cube that I use and most recommend. And by the way, looking at other cruise line websites, I have not seen any other cruise lines that are following Royal Caribbean's lead. So at this point, you are safe on this. By the way, I am going to leave the link for the non-surge protected power cube that is really quite small and lightweight, that I most recommend because it does have USB outlets as well as your electrical outlets. I'm going to leave that linked down below in the description of this video in case you do need to pick one up. Now, I did really want to update you on the situation with Royal Caribbean. So we really haven't seen a very big announcement from Royal Caribbean, but what we have seen is responses in social media posts. So basically, Royal Caribbean social media is answering people who are asking about the non-surge protected power cubes, if they can bring them, what are the alternatives. And they have said that the USB outlets, so the multi-plugs that are USB only, that those are permitted. I am going to leave a photo here so you can see what I mean, and I am going to leave a link down in the description below, as this is something that you are allowed to bring on a Royal Caribbean cruise. These people are actually missing their cruise. 5 people have missed our ship, and the cruise ship is leaving. That is really a lesson for us all. We have to make it back to the ship on time. We are in Nassau. I guess at least it's not that far back from Miami, but it is going to be an expensive trip back. Now, I am curious, would you ever consider bringing a vacuum cleaner on a cruise, or even would you bring cleaning products, even wipes? Do you bring that on a cruise? Please let me know down in the comments below. Now, I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Bye for now, and happy cruising.